going on? Alright, feel good? Alright, how do we do with, Monday's message? Was anybody able to go and put anything in play? You guys know, maybe?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit? So let's go, what are we talking about on Monday?
Comfort zones and danger zones.
Alright, so anybody challenge themselves to get outside the comfort zone between Monday and today? Yeah. Yes, Ashley, how'd you do it?
So,
How'd you do it? What'd you do?
I worked like me and Jake were going to the beach, and I kind of pushed myself a little more during the workout,
Okay.
and that's basically
Cool. Guys?
From Sunday to now, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. to do my stretches.
That's
oh, he's
huge.
stepping up.
That's huge. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's a big deal for Jack. Good job. Good job.
You stretching, you did running?
Stretching, you pushing, you said stretching.
Okay.
Don't get carried away, baby steps.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Run like the next one.
That's a great
Next
start.
month, we gonna work on the run. Right now, stretch and go back to sleep.
Great start.
It's a great start though.
That was up.
Yeah, it's 2 months. Anybody else?
So my mom came back on yesterday from her trip, and I decided that I was gonna step up with the dishes because I have to do it. I have to do it very consistently now because that's.
Wait, hold on.
I
gotta ask you this question.
The force.
I gotta ask you this question.
yeah.
Are you washing all of the dishes or just the ones you use?
I'm doing. I empty everybody's. I load everybody's,
Or
and I've been doing it like twice a day.
that's huge. That's huge. That's huge. I know you're cool washing your own dishes, but not washing everybody else.
Yeah.
That's
So
what's up.
it got to a point where my mom, like, she would yell at us, and then the dishes would be like her worst thing ever. So it kind of helps her to not come back to the house with a bunch of responsibilities.
That's cool, man. Alleviating somebody else's stress is a big deal in that house, right? Anybody else? Jada?
I've been reaching out to more people. I've been texting this coach.
You been texting?
Yeah.
What?
These are big.
Physical people. They texting physical people?
Yeah.
That like are here, living on Earth?
Yeah, they're with me.
Wow.
No carcasses, no be deceased, no.
Wow. That's huge, man. Anybody else? Leo?
So in Girl Scouts, there's this community service project. I needed to send in a proposal to the Girl Scout Council for it, and I was supposed to send it in months ago, and I finally sent it in yesterday, so. very
That's
happy
great.
about
That's
it.
great. That's great. That's great. That's huge for you.
Yeah,
It's a big deal. Because you were older.
yeah.
Alright. That's huge. Anybody else?
Waking up to my alarm, not sleeping through it or just shutting it off, just putting on snooze.
My man. My man. That morning time. That morning time grind. All right.
Stepping up for laundry too.
Anybody else got want to share? No? Alright, so we talk about added value, right? Last week it was, excuse me, I keep saying last week, Monday, it was comfort zones and danger zones. And I want to continue from where we were into today, and I want to go over some points of focus. Alright. A lot of times when we set out to do something, immediately what happens is, especially in my case, we go into like planning mode, right? Writing stuff down, studying, coming up with your ideas, and we're trying to figure out what the next step is, right? So it's like, I know I have to do this, let me try and organize it. Whatever way we think that's gonna work. It might be a notebook, it might be your cell phone, it might be a series of like reminders, however you do it, this is what we try to do, right? Maybe watch a few YouTube videos and get some ideas. Whatever your study method is to actually get to that point of doing, that's what you're going into. As soon as you say, hey, this is what I'm gonna do. So all your intentions are great, right? So first part is be intentional. Be intentional every day. Every day that you wake up, you wanna be intentional, right? You don't wanna just wake up and wing it. If you have to prep your list of things to do the night before, it's probably better. It's probably better. Like, I feel way more, doesn't matter how much I've mastered the information, I feel way more prepared when I sit with the information for these classes long before the class takes place. I'm already rehearsing it, I'm already going over it, I'm very intentional with my time when it comes to these classes, right? And it's showing me the benefits of taking that same focus and applying it in other areas. So being very, very intentional. I don't know why I set this thing all the way back here, because we don't have to do that. We can move it up. So if anybody needs to snap a picture real quick, snap a picture real quick, go ahead. So be intentional every day. Up here we have something called PBA or P by A. Right? That is something that oftentimes when I set out to do something, I have my list. I've already got like my points of interest on attention. I get caught up in the studying portion of it sometimes, right? Like making sure I have enough information. I want to make sure that I'm ready for what it is that I'm about to do. And oftentimes what I realize for myself personally, I run into what we call PBA, which is paralysis by analysis. So focused on analyzing what I have to do and making sure that I'm prepared and not running into that brick wall that I get caught up in just the analytical state. Just making the list, right? Sometimes you could do so much information gathering that makes you tired. You could be exhausted from just that alone. Just figuring out what's on the to-do list is a job in and of itself, right? So we want to try to minimize that process as much as possible. Maybe you start with only 5 things, right? Instead of 10 or 15 or 20 things, right? Sometimes we feel like, well, I could do more. We keep adding to that list. I could do more. And so then it becomes a bullet point thing where we just tacking things onto that list. And it's like, man, be really realistic, right? When we first started running, we started with what? How many laps? 1, right? The next go round was 2, right? 3, right? 4, right? So we could have came straight in and went to 4, but
Everybody's gonna make it.
yeah, right? We lost 1 because of that running. Little brother. That running, it finished him. Like, that went in him before the workout even started. Because of that run, just one time around, right? He wasn't able to make it through the workout because he would be so discouraged from the performance, right? Yeah, not being able to finish. And sometimes, so think about that. Sometimes you can have the best of intentions, okay, but you pile too much on your list, and now you're discouraged because you weren't able to finish. If you're going from doing nothing to doing something, you don't have to put a whole bunch of busy work on the list. You don't have to do that. Just one thing can change it, right? I'll give you guys an example. Snipers, when they aim, they're a 1/10 of an inch off. They miss the target, right? So just imagine if we apply that principle to actually hitting the target, hitting the goal, right? We take that same level of focus and we understand that, like, okay, I know I'm aiming for this camera here, I'm aiming for the camera. If I'm a 1/10 of an inch off the edge, I don't hit the camera, I hit the table behind it, right? So if we apply that to the adjustments that we make in our lives, right, what change does that make? What is a 0.1% change in our daily schedule equal over time? The law of averages says that over time, that percentage will grow. So if every day you just start off by making your bed, just make your bed. That's something different. Now you get that down the first week, you get up every day, you make your bed. I read a book called The Power of Habit. It says it takes 66 days to actually form a habit, right? 66 days of consecutive work to literally form a habit. So if you wake up every day, okay, and you're making your bed, after a while it becomes committed to your process. So now once that's committed to your process, you have the next thing. okay, and before you know it, now you're in a situation where 2-3 months time, your entire schedule has changed over time gradually. Oftentimes, we can be intentional, but we add too much onto the schedule, right? It might just be as simple as a mile run. I'm not telling you gotta wake up in the morning if you wanna be the ball player. I'm not telling you gotta wake up and run 10 miles every day. It's not realistic. You still need to, it has to feel fun, and it has to feel doable, right? But that mile, if you run it enough, it's gonna become easy eventually, right? And so without even thinking about it, you're like, that's how I ended up in South Plainfield, right? At first, it was just walking around Westfield. It's like, yo, this is easy. This is getting too easy for me. I'm starting to do this in a breeze, like it's a breeze now. So you start out just walking 1 or 2 miles every day. The next thing you know, it's like, yo, I walk 18 miles a day. Because you just keep adding on gradually. As you go, you realize, you feel it, like, oh, I can go a little bit further. I can go a little bit further. All right, so also just be mindful of having too much on the list can interfere with how you feel about your progression for the day. Might be 1 or 2 adjustments, that's all you need to make for today. And tomorrow you make 1 or 2 other adjustments. That's simple. What's the difference between waking up at 6:15 and 6 a.m.? That 15-minute time frame is enough for you. You don't realize how much you can do in 15 minutes. That small adjustment in time can change the trajectory of your entire day. So over time, right, 2 days is what? Now, it's an extra what? If we wake up at 6 as opposed to 6:15, 2 days of waking up at 6 is what? How much more time? 30 minutes, right? 4 days is what?
An hour.
An hour, right? So we know that every 4 days we get back an hour. All right. Over time, what you've added on, and let's just say in that 15 minutes you just devoted it to personal development. That's 15 minutes that you stayed asleep. But imagine what information you can come across in 15 minutes. It's so easy, it's so quick to be able to find information once you know what you're looking for. Right? And that 15 minutes, let's just say it was a devotional of sorts, right? That 15 minutes, you're just doing positive affirmations. That 15 minutes, you might be watching a video of my man Eric Thomas. And that 15 minutes, you're getting as much Eric Thomas content as you can. That's the first fruits of your day. Over time, that becomes a part of your schedule, right? So again, we just want to think about that, all right? Always be in execution mode. Sometimes we take too much time trying to figure it out, right? We spend all our time trying to figure out how to go about this. I got the information, I got the skill set, but now how do I activate this? Always be in execution mode. I think on Monday we did talk about, like as we were leaving, we talked about everybody having the ability to fly, but some of us are more braver than others when it comes time to jump. Right? So we're waiting, like, okay, I'm gonna wait for my moment. That moment may never come. You know, you guys that frequent the pool, you already know if you dip your toe in there, you're gonna be hesitant. Best thing for you to do, cannonball. Just adjust to the temperature while you're in it. That's it, because that's what the body does. The body adjusts to the temperature. So the best thing for you to do, jump right in the pool. You get a little whoop, and after that, you feel good in it. That's how amazing the mind is, right? How many times has anybody, especially like for the basketball players, have you guys ever had like an injury that you just adjusted to? You forgot that it was even hurting. You start to play in pain. That's how powerful the mind is. So a lot of the things that you think about might be a holdup. Like, man, this is not exactly comfortable for me to do. This is not exactly comfortable. Good morning, how are you? This is not exactly comfortable, you know, for me to be in this position. Jump right in. The mind will adapt. Your mind really will adapt to the situation and the circumstances you think you might not be ready for. Your mind is wired to figure it out. Right? Your mind is wired for comfort. Even in an uncomfortable situation. You walk into a room that you're not comfortable, your mind's gonna figure out, hey man, what do we gotta do to make this easy? What do? Right? And so you guys need to start jumping more, right? Jumping more and trying to figure it out less. Jump more. Always be in execution mode. Always be doing. Alright, next thing. Make sure you invest your time, energy, and resources in the right place. I'm gonna give you guys an example for me. Musically, I'm convinced I'm just better than most rappers. Personally, that's just how I feel. I feel like the complexity of my lyrics, my ability to rap on anything, to select certain beats that aren't just about the beat, I just feel like I'm better than most rappers. Unfortunately, my time, energy, and resources were never in the right place. While most guys would take their money and invest that money in promotions and invest their money in other things that might bring attention to them, right? Figuring out how to really work the algorithms on social media, maybe even paying for followers to boost it up and make it look like it's more than what it is so that people would pay attention, because people follow when they see other people follow, right? I had too much pride. I'm not paying for 100,000 followers, even though I found a company that's willing to do it for $100. I'm not paying for it. I got too much pride. I felt like my talent should be enough. I'm nice, y'all should be listening because I'm nice. That's not how this works. There's rules to the game, and you need to follow. If the major labels are paying for views and followers and comments, what makes you think Mr. Independent Rapper, from a place where most rappers don't even come from, you're gonna be able to get away doing this? So you have to make sure that you invest your time, energy, and resources in the right place. It's key. It's key. You got some guys that think they're working really hard, right? When it comes to this basketball game, right? They think they're working really hard. You can't tell them you're not working hard. And you watching them waste their time on things that's not gonna get them better. And no matter what you tell them, they believe in that system. Right? Like I literally know people who stand on the same street corner every single day talking about we gotta get it. They've been on the same corner since I was a kid. Nah, we about to make it happen, man. We got the master plan. It's about to go down. Bro, it's been about to go down for the last 25 years, man. It ain't go down. I don't even think it's in sight anymore. Like, what's going on, brother? In 25 years, you don't think you should change this up a little bit? Maybe if you stop standing on this corner, just that one little change, it might grow you in another area if you just get off this corner. There'll be people that tell you they want to go, you know, Jake, we laugh about this all the time. There'll be people that tell you they want to go play college basketball, but as soon as you start pushing them, I don't want no part of this. There's friends right now that you don't even speak to anymore, not because you don't like them, but because you work too hard. They don't want to put in that type of work. But the conversation will always be, I'm gonna go to college and play basketball. Right? So make sure you invest your time, energy, and resources in the right places. And how do you know if you're doing the right thing? That will probably be the next question, right? Like, how do I know, man, that I'm investing my time, energy, and resources in the right place? No, man, success leaves breadcrumbs. There's always a blueprint to follow. All you have to do is pay attention to the people who've been successful before you. Now, everybody's way is not gonna be for you. But you can look at many different examples and pull from each one of them and say, okay, you know what? That'll work for me. That's in my character. I could do that. I could do that. You might not be the runner. For you, it might be kettlebell swings. Like, yo, bro, I don't like running. Running on cement don't do well for my knees. I don't like what it does to my ankles. All right, man, so you might be a jump rope and kettlebell guy. That's cool. Figure it out. Right? But always be doing, always be intentional. Make sure you're investing your time, energy, and resources in the right place. All right. Next thing. Don't chase results, chase consistency. Very important, guys. You don't want to get caught up in a situation where you're so fixated on what the end result is that you forget about the importance of being consistent along the way. It's amazing what 3, 4, 5 days of consistency can do. Amazing. All right. One of the things I want you guys to think about, you can never be let down if the focus is always on doing the work. You ever wanted something like really bad, like you had a goal and you worked for it, and it didn't happen? You guys ever been in a situation like that? Where you work for something, like you know you put in the work, and then you get to that point and it didn't happen. You guys ever been through something like that? Okay, what happens when that goes down? You get discouraged, right? It's right here. If the focus is on the result, you'll get discouraged when things don't go according to plan. But if the focus is on the work, that's all you're worried about. Everything else will take care of itself. Listen, a lot of times you're not in control of the result because sometimes hard work doesn't pay off. Sometimes it don't pay off. I got a player right now that's on the AAU circuit that's going through it. They put in the work, they did everything they were supposed to do, but somewhere along the line, there's a disconnect. And so they went from hitting every single shot to being frustrated that the shot is not falling. So when we double back and we look at it, we say, okay, well, what did you do leading up to the time that you had that great game? I know. I didn't even have this conversation with them yet, but I know what they did. They spent that time in the gym. The unfortunate part about AAU basketball, and this happens again in life, the unfortunate part about AAU basketball is it takes time away from doing what? Work. Putting the work in. So now you on this circuit, playing 3, 4 games a day with no practice time. You gotta focus on the work, not the result. Be consistent with focusing on the work, not the result. Results can be misleading, they can be discouraging, because sometimes things don't go according to plan. You can do everything the right way, exactly the way it was told you to do, and still it not go right. You can listen to everything my dad tell you about a jump shot and still miss. And if you focus on just the result, you'll feel like the teachings aren't working or something's wrong with you. But if you focus on the work, the result will do what? Take care of itself. Just focus on the work. All right? Focus on the work. Next thing. Really trying to move along quickly, guys, so I'm not keeping you long. All right? The next thing. Don't wait to be motivated. It's the worst thing that you can do, because motivation is not real. It's a temporary fix. Okay? Motivation is a drug with a very short-lived high. If you get high off of motivation, you're gonna always have to take a hit. You're gonna always be looking for someone or something to motivate you throughout your process. Newsflash, guys. Most of the time, you're not gonna be motivated. Most of the time, you're not gonna wanna get up at that time. Most of the time, you're not gonna wanna do the work. You don't, listen, it's not about being motivated, it's about being dedicated. Forget the motivation. Motivation comes and goes. All right? If you do everything you're supposed to do and it doesn't go according to plan, where's the motivation in that? If you've been doing chest workouts for 2 months and there's no growth in your chest, where's the motivation in that? Most people will stop doing the chest workout. Literally, that's what happens, right? Because we're looking for motivation. You want to go somewhere and have somebody make you feel good about your particular situation. It's a temporary high, man.
So it's determination over motivation.
Always. Always. gotta be more determined than anything else. Motivation comes and goes. Determination is dedication to a specific lifestyle, a specific mindset. Motivation could be, just mood. Today I'm in a good mood, so I feel motivated. Tomorrow I'm not, so I'm just gonna lay here until I feel better. Most of the time look, bro, I don't even think about getting up. I don't give myself time to think about getting up, because if I think about it, I'll lay there. Best thing for me to do is just get right up. Man, where you going? I don't know, but I can't lay here. If I stay here, it's not gonna be good. Nothing in my life when I was growing up suggested that I would be here right now. Right? Like, I don't care that I don't have the biggest house in Westfield. I don't care. People have bigger homes in Westfield than me. But I still feel like I'm further along than they are. Why? They let me catch up. I'm from the projects. I had mice and roaches, no food, no clothes, no money. Y'all let me catch up. Y'all had that stuff. We're not supposed to be in the same neighborhood. What you doing here? There was no motivation to get out of that situation. None. There was no motivation. I had to be determined. Do you know listen guys, I don't like to play up on this stuff at all. But just to give you guys an understanding, drugs are being sold in my house. Okay? Forget what's going on in the street. My house is the trap. Alright, so now, drugs are being sold in my house. I wake up in the morning, I gotta go through all the drug dealers that were on the night shift and now coming in, they're sleeping on my living room floor, I gotta step over them. Okay? Never mind the roaches and the mice and the cereal boxes and all this other stuff, forget that. Now you go into the hallway, right? There's other drug dealers in the hallway. I live on the 6th floor. If I take the stairs, might be some crackheads in the stairs. They might defecate in the stairwell. They might pee in the stairwell. Who knows? If I take the elevator, it's the same thing. Okay? Now I finally get down to the lobby. It's more of the same. You know what I gotta go through every day before I even step into the world? Where's the motivation in that? And some of you guys are complaining about what? Having to take out the trash and make your bed in the morning? You gotta figure it out. There was no motivation, guys, I'm trying to tell y'all. Wasn't nobody going to school in my household. Wasn't nobody, grades, I stopped showing my mother my report card when I was like 14 years old. Grades. What are these grades gonna do for me where I'm at right now? So then look, I go through all of that, and then I gotta go to a school that's 0.3% black. I'm getting the rocks thrown at me, I'm getting called the N-word, this is it. This is the life. Where's the motivation in these situations, man? Ain't no motivation. You just gotta be determined. You gotta find it within yourself. Nobody's coming to give you that determination. The same people that's supposed to educate me or teach me are the same people saying, you ain't good enough. You ain't good enough. Freshman year, man, I'm playing ball. Somebody asked me, a peer asked me, yo, what you want to do? I just want to play college ball anywhere. I don't even care. The lieutenant colonel of the ROTC program, this is a leadership training program, tells me, you ain't good enough. You ain't never going to play college basketball. Sad part is I believe him. He never played college ball. He don't know. He went to the Marine Corps. He don't know. The reason why I'm so hard on you guys about having the confidence in yourself is because of my experiences with adults breaking my spirit. So I'm telling you guys, you need to believe in yourselves. You need to have confidence. I could care less about what you're doing on the basketball court if you don't believe in yourself. Because I know, as a kid, what I went through with adults. I've had teachers tell me, you think you're special. I'm doing nothing. I'm not, listen, we're in a community where guys is guns, drugs, all day, every day. I'm just trying to make it out. And the teacher stopped me one day. Not even my teacher. Not my teacher. This is supposed to be a guy that's giving back to the community. You think you're special. I don't like that kid's ego. He thinks he's better than everybody else. Not because I said I was, but because I carried myself differently. Well, all of y'all doing it, I'm gonna put on a shirt and tie. Where you going with the briefcase? What's in the briefcase? Nothing. I'm just dressing for where I wanna go. I don't wanna be here. My body is here, but my mind is not. I'm determined. So I'm telling you guys, you have to be determined. You have to be willing to see something in yourself that nobody else sees. You may even have to see it when your parents don't see it. Because sometimes your parents are afraid for you. So it doesn't allow them to see your dream. Because they don't want to see you hurt. They don't want you to get hurt. They're tired of seeing your heart be broken for something that you want so bad. They're tired of the politics. You don't even understand the amount of no's and different hurdles that they have to jump over for you. They're exhausted. It's not that they don't believe in you, it's that they see the world from a different lens. And it's getting harder and harder to protect you guys the older you get. When you're young, it's very easy to protect you because you stay close to mom. But the older you get, the further away from their hips that you become. The more access people in the world have to you. The more you start trying to watch things on your own and listen to things on your own, and your ideas and your mindset is shaped by these different things. It's scary. It's scary to send your kid out in the world and let them go, where other people don't have the best intentions. It's scary. I know it's scary. It was scary for me. I didn't even have the currency you have. It was scary for me. You guys actually have a buffer. Whatever was said to me, there was no reassurance when I got back to the house. If things got real bad for me at the house, and I'm like, man, I can't take this no more. I tell my mom I'm gonna run away. She'll say, don't run away. Just know when you leave, that door only open one way. You ain't coming back. And this is me saying I can't take the drugs in my house anymore. I don't want to be here. Come. Ain't nobody keeping you here. It's my house. So moving out at 17 was like a no-brainer for me. I'm gone. I'm gone. That's why it kills me when I see some of you guys like get frustrated with your parents and like when I see praise for them, I'm tripping because but they here. They supporting you. You mad about that? Because they telling you to focus on the layup or hit the jump shot? I'd have paid money for my mom to come to one of my games. She's never seen me bounce a basketball. She don't know what it's like. She never seen me hold a microphone, nothing. All this stuff I'm doing on my own. I've been coaching kids since I was 16. That's when I had my first team. I used my money from Pizza Hut and I started my own team. And I'm taking 8-year-olds around New York City to play in street tournaments at 16 years old. Buying Gatorade for everybody. Getting tokens for everybody. At that time we didn't have Metro cards yet. It was tokens. So I'm telling you guys, like, what do you really want? You gotta be determined. Where was the motivation to do something like that? All around me is desperation. Where's the motivation? It has to come from within. All right, last thing. In case of an emergency, remember how long it takes to change direction. You guys catch that? What's an emergency?
Plans fall out.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta know how to pick yourself back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so when you understand what the emergency is, how long does it take to change directions?
Depends on how deep you are, what you're trying to do. Like,
Anybody? How long does it take?
Instantaneously.
Absolutely. Instantaneously. If you're in a car, all right, and somebody stops short, and this lane right here is how long? It's just your reaction. All it takes is you recognizing there's danger ahead. Boom. That's it. You just gotta have the reflex that allows you to make that adjustment. Some of us see that and panic, and we prepare for the impact rather than change direction. Oh my God, it's gonna get messed up again. I'm so used to this. This always happens to me. Boom. Now you in that for a little while. So you decide to lick your wounds patch yourself up and go in another direction. The change is instantaneous. You can always change direction. Without having to give up on the goal or the dream or the destination, sometimes you gotta take a detour. If you go somewhere, you know, Jersey's always doing work on the street, right? There's always work going on. I don't understand this. It's a different thing. Like, I can't complain because it's like, New York is full of potholes. Jersey is always road work, so traffic is crazy, right? Now, when you're driving, you don't know, you're chilling. You got your little smoothie going on, tunes is playing, great vibe in the car, detour. Do you stop going where you were going, or do you just go with the detour? Right? So it's important that we also know our environment so that we know shortcuts to take. We know the back roads. We know the main way to go, right? We know which way we're going. Like, you know how to get here.
Right.
But there's more than one way to get here. And if there's a detour, because there's road work being done ahead, that don't mean wait for them to finish the work and sit in the traffic. You gotta change direction, find out where to go. That goes back to the beginning, right? Like when you study the environment, we don't want to get too caught up in it, but when you study the environment, when you study what it is that you're about to do, we're going to touch on this on Monday. When you study the environment, now you understand how many different ways you can attack this thing. There's always more than one way. Sometimes we get sent on a detour for the sole purpose of learning. You need to understand that there's always more than one way to achieve a goal. It doesn't have to be done this one way. This is the way my parents did it, so this is the way I got to do it. That's why you still got like parents pushing that on kids, like 9 to 5 is the way to go. Remember, we talked about the message, right? It's like, you know, these kids want to get out here and get on that YouTube and make money that way. Yeah, of course. Of course, because now we're starting to see the fallacy behind college. College doesn't represent what it once represented. We see that it's a business now. And if I can cut straight to the chase and make the money, then that's what I'm gonna do.
I think it's easier today. It's easier today to.
Oh, it's much
be
easier.
successful than the.
It's much easier. You got all the tools in the
that we
world.
had, yeah.
So, you know, listen, sometimes people will laugh at your dream, not because they don't believe in it, but because they don't feel like it's fair. Think about what I'm saying. Sometimes you're getting discouraged at the fact that someone's laughing at your dream or doubting your dream. It's not because they don't believe in it, it's because they don't think it's fair. Why do you get to have an easier route than what I had? Do you know how hard I had to work to get this house? Well, I ain't gotta do that. I didn't have nobody to teach me credit. I didn't have nobody to teach me finance. Well, I do. It's not my fault. It's just the way times are. Thank you for your sacrifices. It made it easier for me. But don't be mad at me because I don't gotta work that hard. Like that's the equivalent to like people who existed who did like farming before cars and stuff, right? They're mad at the modern farmer because they have tractors now. You know we had to get out here with the rake and do this. Bro, that's not my fault. I didn't choose or decide when you were born. Like, that's not my fault. Can you imagine what it was like for the basketball players in like the 50s?
They had to play in Chuck Taylor.
They had to play in Chuck Taylors, bro. I would say the little shorts, but y'all like the little shorts again. So we're just gonna stick to the Chuck Taylors. They love them little shorts. You wanna have the stars out all the time. Leave the stars out. You love it. But that's what it was. Listen, nobody could pay you guys to play in them Chuck Taylors today, man. If I told you guys, yo, put the Chuck Taylors on me to play, you'd be like, Coach, man, what you, come on. We're not playing no Chucks. Get out of it. There's no way. They're like a lifestyle shoe now. You chillin' Chucks, you don't play in Chucks. I don't care what your parents say about how they made them different back in the day. Bro, there's no way I'm not playing them. It's not happening. It changes. We talk about the process with like cell phones and everything. Like, listen, guys, I'm telling y'all, I got touch screens right now. There was a time when that text message thing first started, you had to use the numbers. You had to cycle through the numbers. Now that was an advancement for people who had to use a rotary phone. Can you imagine having to put your finger in a ring, spin it all the way around,
I'll make it
wait for it to
smart.
go back, and then go to the next number and do that before you can make a call?
They have no clue.
Right? Like, no.
And then-
But like call waiting and all, bro, it was a real thing. Missing phone calls was a real thing, like.
Busy.
It was a real, like you got a busy signal. So if your sibling was on the phone talking to a girl or a boy for 2 hours, nobody could reach you for 2 hours.
Yeah, emergency.
It was really a thing about like tying up the house phone all day long. Like, boy, you want my phone? Like, there was no
No, but
flat
kinda,
rate.
Call the operator if it was emergency.
Oh yeah,
to break
the tap
between
in, right?
two.
So now
Tap in.
that was how you knew,
That's
like.
how you knew it was emergency.
Call the operator and tell the operator, yo, I need you to patch me into a call that they on because this is an emergency.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah, you're
But I
right.
can't get mad at you guys because y'all don't have to go through that. We're really mad at the youth right now for the convenience that they have, the conveniences that they have in their life currently, the things that you guys are able to use. But what I'm more upset about is that you guys aren't using them to the full potential.
It's
That's
like-
what I'm upset about.
It's like your parents work hard for you to have an easier life, and then they're mad that you have an easier life.
Right. You got it so easy. Mom, dad, y'all provided the easier life. When I was your age, I had to walk to school and Mom, dad, y'all bought the car. So that we didn't have to go to walk.
Like,
To school. What are y'all doing? Do you know how hard I had it?
I get
Yes.
this every day.
That's why you became successful. So that we wouldn't have it as hard as you have it. It's the disconnect. But what you have to do is like understand now with all the advances that you have, right? It's funny because I'm thinking about when JT says he's doing the dishes. I have a dishwasher, I never use it. So when he talks about doing the dishes, I'm laughing to myself because I'm like, wait, this was a struggle to have a dishwasher? So all you gotta do is put it on the rack, then add the little soap powder boy and close it, set it, forget it.
It's not even laundry.
Like you're not even really washing them, you just gotta put them on the rack.
Like doing laundry, you're not washing laundry, you're freaking putting it in
that's
the
true.
machine and hitting start.
And y'all turn your nose up at that. Yo, listen, I'm not old enough to even know what this is like, but my conditions was real enough for me to know what this is like. I wash clothes on the washboard in the bathtub.
That's real.
Like, so do y'all know that like, you probably never tried this before, but when you use like powder, like soap powder, right, and it gets wet in your hand, it's warm. You can feel like there's like a heat that comes off of it. I know this because I had to put the soap powder on the shirt, put the water so I can feel that, yo, this soap powder's getting warm in my hands, and I gotta use my knuckles to scrub it against the washboard. I'm telling you, y'all don't even know that. I'm not mad at you that you don't have to do that though. I'm happy that you don't. But I'm telling you, with the advancements, the technological advancements that you guys have, why aren't you doing more? Why aren't you doing more? You got it easy. What's up, Ash? That's it.
Yeah, but also too that they don't know, if they never had it, right?
Right.
They don't know, and that's where I just, like I said, Monday, experience comes in.
But it is a certain level of laziness,
Oh, definitely.
right? Like, that's really what your parents are mad at more than anything, is that you have it easier and you don't take advantage of it. That's that more than anything. Because that people from your generation will say, yo, well, from my generation, will say, I never had no basketball training. We didn't even know that was a thing. Now you got kids that feel like they can't play without them. Even if a kid say, oh, it's not fair because I ain't got no basketball training. Bro, you got YouTube. Because truth be told, like, that's all we were doing was buying N1 tapes. Watch the tape. If you had an advanced VCR, you could do slow motion. But for everybody else in the world who didn't have it, you just rewound it, play it back, rewind it, play. And listen, y'all talking about, y'all got high definition right now. Y'all can zoom in and do, bro, some of that footage was so grainy, you can't even make out faces. Like, it was, if somebody didn't tell you that, yo, that's this guy from this, you might not know. Because some of the footage was so grainy, You knew the move, you could see the movements, but you didn't know what some of these guys look like. If it wasn't a close up, like right here, I'm telling you, bro, it's like forget 1080p. It was like 120. It's like 120p right here, bro. But you just watched it, and you went outside and you practiced that move 100 times. I challenge you guys, take advantage of the technology that you have. Take advantage. I don't care if it's teaching yourself 10 words in Spanish every day. It's right there. You guys got Google Translate, all this other stuff. There's really like nothing preventing you from living the life that you want to live. You have all of the advancements. Unfortunately, you gotta start looking at all the things that you don't have right now that you want, and it gets in the way of you realizing what's at your fingertips. Y'all can still remember when like the majority of the world didn't have a cell phone. I know because I worked in a cell phone store, I was selling cell phones, bro. And I was making a killing. I sold a lot of people their first cell phone, adults, not kids. Yo, how I work this thing? This is what's going on, like, right? What's up, Adam?
So like when my dad was younger, they didn't have like people to like train him how to play football or any like basketball, baseball,
Right.
or something like that. He did it himself. And like when you're in like when you're in, you know, like the coaches and everything like that, like players didn't have that easy with the coaches.
Right, right.
The coaches would like slap them and spit in their face.
Yeah.
Cause like when he was younger, if he got hurt before a game, if he like I don't know, did some dumb stuff at a party or something,
Right.
like that, he'd get punished for it.
No, for sure. So, and this goes into what I'm saying, you know, to you guys. That's the real issue that your parents might have, is that it was just that much tougher. It was that much more hard. You said something before, you were like, you talk to your grandparents, you always hear about the struggle, but getting it directly from them, it's amazing when you find out like they had a good time. Right? Sometimes we overhype the struggle, man. We talk so much about the struggle because that's the fear. A lot of times, especially like for minority parents, we don't even realize how much we plagued by it all the time. We act like every day we was marching in the revolution. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it was just non-stop racism all the time. We could never have no fun. We ain't play skellies. We ain't hopscotch. It was no double dutch. It was none of that going on. There was no tag, no manhunt, nothing. Like you had no childhood. It was just all oppression. There was a point in time where even for those people that were living in slavery, they still managed to have some sort of a good time, as much as could be had in those conditions. Right? So we tend to kind of overhype it, but I think what that comes from a lot of times, you know, for our parents, is just the fear. The fear that you're gonna miss out on an opportunity. The fear that you'll be able to make a better life for yourself. Because one of the things, you know, parents struggle with, especially when they provide a good life, is, did I do too much? Did I do a disservice to you by giving you too much? By making sure you always had. And you know when they really fear that? When you guys show a lack of appreciation. When you catch an attitude, you fly off the handle, then it's like, did I do too much? Did I set them up, you know, the wrong way? Because I would have never been able to get away with doing that to my parents. Right? So now you're making them question their entire life of parenthood because of your one statement, your one rebuttal back to them is like, man, I messed up. I messed my son up. I messed my daughter up. I did the wrong thing. Right? So we're gonna close with this. Go ahead.
So, the parents, I mean, kids that don't have discipline, right? And they disrespect or don't, you know, listen to their parents.
Right.
Do you think the parents that have that same discipline or attitude easy growing?
Why do you think they so hard on you? Obviously they didn't have that discipline. Obviously. This is why your parents are always a step ahead. Cause for every one party you snuck out and went to, they probably went to 5 or 10 of them. Like, the problem with kids most of the time is, they think they invented whatever they sneaking to do. They think they invented the lie that they're about to tell, the activity that they're about to engage in that they're not supposed to. They think they started with them. They really think that. Like, you guys really think like, oh nah, like, I invented this, right? I invented this sneaking out the house like this. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. Like, I figured this out. I know how this works. I know how to cover my own tracks. Half of y'all are so bad at lying, you don't even remember the lie. So all your parents gotta do is pretend like they know something that you don't know that they know. And you get nervous and you change your life. But I thought you said you was over there with John. Well, no, well, John was there too. No, that's not what you said. You ain't got no choice at all, bro. Your mom is a lawyer. And you still trying to get over.
Oh, and body language is.
Like, her whole thing is interrogation.
God. And I'm on the witness.
Listen, you think it's over? Yes, I got it. She's gonna come back 5 minutes later because you forgot what you said.
She's
She's
remember.
gonna come back and she said, well, look, with a mental notebook. So, Delano, you said you left here at 9:17.
I'm like, wow.
It's 2 miles away. Even if there was traffic, it would only take you 9 minutes to get from there to here. How are you 2.5 hours late? Then you go back and you leave out something from the first part of the story, forgetting that you told her this initially. Now she got you. Now you start stuttering, stumbling, then you get frustrated. But mama, I already said. I know you're lying, you're grounded. Grounded. They did this already, man. They've been here. They got the cheat code. You thinking you the person to come up with this. Jay, you was about to ask a question. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
it was just another thing. It was just like, I made up a story to my dad because I went out
Yikes.
with my friends, and then I was supposed to be doing homework, and I came back, I made up a story, and he's like, Jake, I made up this lie when I was a kid. I learned all your lies and forgot about it and then learned them again.
You're not the first person to lie. I'm just telling you this. It's just safer to go with the truth. Delano, where were you? Listen, mom, dad, bad girl, I ain't wanna leave. I'm gonna take the punishment, whatever that got me to do, but I'm gonna just say this. On my way up to the room,
It might have to.
she was beautiful, it was worth it. That's it.
It might have to get to that.
Just, she was beautiful, it was worth it. Do whatever y'all gonna do. It was worth it, I got the number. That's some junk that have messed them up because they banking on the lie. Now, when you go upstairs, they might say, look, we doing all right with the boy. Come on, win, you got it. He might come in the room and hey son, hey, here you go, baby. I like that one right there. That was all right. I wish I would have did that when I was your age. That's how you mess them up. But y'all don't do that. You're not creative, man. You're not creative. First thing you do is either get nervous or defensive. Just tell the truth. That's all you gotta do, just tell the truth, man. It's that simple. But oftentimes, you won't. You won't. What are you afraid of? Why do it if you gotta be afraid of?
Get in trouble.
You don't want to deal
But
with
why
that.
do it? Like if you're that afraid, why do it? Why do it? Anybody got an answer for that?
No, not really. Not really.
What was that? What's
Like
that
a
answer for that?
feeling.
It's called peer pressure.
Why do it?
Probably because the reason why we wouldn't do it is because we wouldn't want certain stuff to get taken away.
Okay.
Like our electronics or something like something that we're.
But if you engage in that activity, that's the thing that you care about most, right? So it goes back to that comfort zone being the danger zone, right? Because you're comfortable telling a lie. Why? Because you think it's going to affect some other part of your comfort.
But when our parents said tell them the truth, you're not gonna get in trouble like the way. If I tell the truth, I feel like I'm in more trouble than if I tell a lie.
No, you won't be.
No, not in the long run.
Sometimes you guys got to beat your parents to the punch, man. Like all right, listen, What is your mom absolutely adamant about in the house? Like one thing that she's always gonna complain about. Give me one thing.
Keeping it clean.
Keeping it clean. Okay, anybody else? What? The kitchen clean.
The house in general has
Okay.
to be clean, like Dior can anywhere.
Anywhere.
It doesn't matter.
Alright. Have you and
Basically,
Dior
you're
ever?
picking up after yourself,
So listen.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, listen. Have you and Dior ever huddled up and said, "Listen, you know how mom and dad get it up. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I'm trying to go to this party. You're trying to be in your room over here on the computer doing your thing. You need to get up, clean this whole house top to bottom. Dior, you gotta help me. I'm trying to go to this party. It's gonna be a bad one here tonight." You ever did that?
I don't.
No, because you know why? You don't want
I think
you don't
we
want to
tried
give
it
something.
anyway, yeah.
No, you don't want to give something to get anything. What you would rather do is act like, oh, I forgot. I didn't know I was supposed to do that. Delano, the trash is almost to the ceiling. This is your chore, baby. You didn't know that you had to take this out? But I did. I thought I did. Like, that's what it is. Some of y'all rooms be so nasty, your socks in the corner standing up by themselves. There's no feet in them. It's like, son, you don't smell this? It looked like somebody standing in your room in the corner. Look at your socks, that's nasty. And you got no, it's like no rebuttal for your parents. When they come in, you just got the dumb face.
I was gonna do it.
But then when you talk to your peers, it's like, yo, my parents be tripping, man. Really? Really? Your parents is tripping? Beat them. Beat them to the punch. Do you know what your mom would feel like if she came home one day and she just seen you doing dishes for no reason? She come in the house, you vacuuming? She might walk back out and look at the front of the house like, am I in the right place?
She gonna be like, what do you want?
What did you do with my son? Who is this?
I did that. Yeah, I swear, like 20 minutes later, Mommy, go to the store, what do you want to get? He's like, what do you want to get? You want
This is why, listen, you guys would have so much more if you were willing to sacrifice more. If you were willing to give more. The person who gives the most has the most happiness. You might feel like Dior get away with murders, but it's because she's willing to do things that you're not. And she does it in a way that you might not even see it. Because you're too busy focused on the fact that, how she get to do this and I gotta. You think it's because she's a girl. She just might be a little bit smarter, bro. That's all it is. Jay gets away with stuff because he's the baby. He's the baby. It's two sisters. He gets away with stuff with his mom that his pops is gonna be on him about. But I'll tell you something. I just took a trip with him to Arizona. He acts totally different around his dad than he does around
Oh,
his
I know. What, Jake?
mom. Way different.
Way different, right?
Way different.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
two totally different people. Totally different people. He's already quiet, but like around his pops, like it's upright. Like this kid is military. Like, yo,
Sorry, yeah.
what is going on? Like the level of discipline in his life. It's like, yo, this is a different kid.
Skyrocket.
Oh man, completely different person, bro.
It's real. I'll call Jake. Patrick, Jake. Yes, sir. It's crazy. It makes me reevaluate everything
It's
I
quick,
do.
bro. It's quick.
I do that with my father too, so.
But listen, the different part is like, right? Like his mom might nag him about something. His dad is gonna cut through all the noise, like everything.
It sounds real simple.
It's just straight to the point, and he don't want the speech. The speech from his dad, 10-word speech from his
Nice.
dad
It's
is
much
worse
worse.
than 2 hours of yelling from his mom.
You're right.
So that's why he's more different.
It is.
It's so.
Cause he can tune his mom out. That's why he don't hear when she's calling him. He can tune her out, but he can't tune his dad out.
Yeah.
It's too intense, bro. It's literally
real.
It's like, oh nah. Cause that conversation with your dad made you feel like you don't know how to do anything.
You don't
about
know
it.
shit.
Nothing, like, I see it in Jairus. I see it in Jairus. Like, but his mom's, he slack off a little bit. But his pops, the tears come. That's it. Like, oh man, I don't want this dude saying nothing to me.
I mean, it's the opposite.
Oh, I know. It's not too much you guys can tell me. I'm watching y'all situations, man. I know.
me, when my mom asked me to do a favor, I kind of don't, like, cause she asked me, like, I'm not saying she always asks me to do a favor, but like, when she does ask me, I'm used to it, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry, your boy, go ahead.
So like, I sometimes I do kind of like just zone it out, and I forget, just like, make your bed, and then put your clothes away. But I would kind of zone out one part, I would try to just like make my bed, but then I would put my clothes away.
One, let me stop you right there. It's not a favor, it's a responsibility. That's number one, all right? Two, you know that mom is a lot more lenient.
Yeah, but like, it's like when my
Dad is not gonna be that lenient.
Exactly. So when my dad calls me, I'm always like right there. You know what I mean? 'Cause he.
So you think your parents are tripping, but we clearly have identified that one way or the other, if you do live in a two-parent household, you're taking advantage. You're pushing the limits, you're seeing how much you can get away with.
But
Okay,
it
so let's.
teaches me as a parent, I need to.
There's a fly on the wall.
Yeah,
Alright,
I
but
need
look.
to redo something I'm doing wrong.
Let's bring it full circle,
Yeah,
right? Let's bring it full circle with what we start with. A lot of times we aren't as successful as we would like to be in life because we're often pushing the limits to see what we can get away with not doing. How close can we get to the goal without having to do all the work? That's the issue. Can we cut certain corners and still get the same result? It comes back full circle. Is there a way I can get my mom to stop nagging me without having to do everything that she said on the list? And it never works. In fact, it works so poorly that you get mad that she doesn't recognize the 6 things you did on the list and focuses only on the 4 that you didn't do. You even thought that you were smart enough by doing the 6 most important things. They were the bigger things, like, yo, I just cut the whole backyard. I cleaned the pool. Yeah, but you left this trash on the table. But y'all never happy. This is how it goes. That's what you tell yourself, yo, you never happy.
Yeah, this is way too much.
Because it's been, see, like.
It's that conditioning, right? It's that
It's been
conditioning.
done, like, we know.
For me, I'll probably be more in a race situation, right? For me. This is why I'm telling you guys count your blessings. You know, for me, for a long time, it was hard for me to even see people like around families. I couldn't do it. I'm telling you, I seen a kid when I moved into my dorm. I seen a kid, right? He lived across the hall. He's moving in his dorm. I came into my dorm, I had garbage bags, no suitcase, no nothing. The kid across the hall from me, his dad is helping him move in. His mom's is downstairs. I figured this out later. So his dad is telling him, I'm proud of you, son, and gives him the car keys to the car that they drove in. Like, yo, this your car, man. And gave him a bank card with some money on it. I'm eavesdropping on the whole conversation, the door's wide open. Tells him, I'm proud of you, son. Right? Puts his hand on his shoulder. I'm so proud of you. Me and your mother, you're proud of you. But you on your own now. You did this. You gotta take care. Don't spend all this money in one spot. You did it, right? Now, that's a beautiful thing, right? Not to me, it was horrible. I closed my door and cried. Because I never had a parent tell me he was proud of me. I didn't know what that felt like. I felt like I got cheated. Because prior to that, most of the kids in my neighborhood was going through the same type of struggles that I was going through. And if they weren't, I didn't get to see the intimacy of it at that level, so it didn't affect me. Now I realize I've been lied to. I've been cheated. When I would see kids go off on their mom, "Mom, so stupid, leave me alone." I'll fly off and hang me. Because I never had nobody be there. So for me, it's different. I'm telling you, listen, I would take all of the nagging that you guys have to deal with, I'll take all of that for I love you, son. I'm proud of you. To see somebody in the stands, like, I don't know what that's like, bro. I graduated from, you graduated 5th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade, right? Never had nobody in the stands. Award ceremony, my man's mom's is cheering. To this day, I love this woman. She took me out to eat, she held me down, she was there for me. She cheered for me like I was her own son. To this day, she's still like a mother to me. Cause it mattered. If she wasn't there, it wouldn't have been anybody else. And I got awards, man. I'm telling you. I always show up. From 5th grade to 12th grade, I had perfect attendance at school. Never missed a day. Never missed a day. Wasn't late, didn't miss a day. Borough-wide attendance, I think Molinari was the borough president at that time. I'm getting all type of academic awards. Nobody showed up. So why do academics even matter? What am I doing this for? Spelling bees, all this other kind of crazy stuff. I'm winning science projects, everything. What we doing the science fair for? What we doing this for? You guys have it all. You tapped in, go the extra mile. What you do at home is what you'll do in life. If you in the crib taking shortcuts, you're gonna go down here into the world and you're gonna take shortcuts. It's just the way it's gonna be. If you're in the crib with an attitude, you're gonna get out here in the world, you're gonna have an attitude. You're gonna have an attitude. If you can't respect the people that love and sacrifice and do everything for you in the comforts of your own home, what you gonna do with these people out there? What you gonna do with the nagging boss that looking for a reason to fire you? What are you gonna do with the basketball coach that really don't give a damn? He lied to recruit you, told you, we're gonna run it this way, you're gonna be the man here, blah, blah, blah. You get there, it's a half-court set, it ain't no running gun, y'all only scoring 45 points a game. How you gonna handle that situation? If you haven't figured out how to handle the people that love you, right?
But you said what you're doing this for when you're gonna get like all the academic awards. You're doing it for yourself though.
As a kid, you don't know that. As a kid, you don't realize that this is for you. I had to learn that later on in life. As a kid, most often what will happen, and this is what happened amongst my peers, is they give up because they don't realize it's for them. They think they're hurting the people that hurt them. It's not until later on in life that you realize, oh, it's my name on the awards. It's my name on the degree. It's my name on the diploma. Later on, you learn that. If you're lucky, some people never do. Right? So again, going off of what Ashton just said is a great thing because he said it's for you, right? So really, how you clean your room, how you take care of yourself, how you respect the household, all of these things, it's not for your parents and you think it is. It's for you. It's to give you discipline, it's to give you structure, it's to teach you responsibility and accountability. And if you spend your child years, your young years, your youthful years running from those responsibilities, you're gonna have a world of trouble when you start a life of your own as an adult. Because all those things that you didn't learn at that stage in life, you're gonna have to go to therapy so a psychiatrist can teach it to you. Because it's for you. At the end of the day, it's for you. But some of us have to go through that process alone. If you don't, be thankful. Be thankful. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, for those of us that have to go through it alone, the ones of you that don't, y'all are lunch meat to us. Because you don't know how to handle nothing. When you've been washing clothes your whole life by yourself, you get to college. It's a conversation starter when you can tell the girls in the laundromat what they need to do. I'm ahead of the game. I'm not looking for a female to wash clothes for me. I'm talking to her about the secrets and how you can get certain things out. I know these life hacks already. I'm gonna kill y'all in the life game. Because I didn't have both parents. I didn't have some of the things that you guys are afforded. I'm gonna kill y'all. Head to head, you ain't got it in you. Because you didn't want to be stretched. You didn't want to be told what to do. You didn't want to have that structure. You didn't want to have it lined up like that. I had to learn. I'm a better cook than most of the men I know. I had to cook for myself. I wash clothes better than almost every female I ever dated. Because I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. I just got more time. I got more experience. I know the best detergents, the best fabric softener. I know how to get certain smells out. Listen, you ever leave clothes in the washing machine too long? Yeah. Too long? What happens? What do you smell like? Mildew. How you get that out?
Wash it.
Nah, it's not how you get it. It's not how you get it out. You wash them again, it's gonna still, it'll come out when you sweat, you'll smell it, and you go, I thought I washed it again. You gotta add vinegar to it.
And what?
Vinegar.
White vinegar.
It's a neutralizer.
Cause I forget to change my loads.
I'm trying to tell you, just add a cup of vinegar in there, and it take the smell right out.
Forget.
So don't like.
You ever get a bloody nose, get it on your shirt, you don't know how to get that blood out?
I gotta write this down.
Anything.
Yeah, like.
I'm telling you. All you gotta do is put salt on it. Salt take it right out. You get blood on your shirt anyway, somebody scratch you, your arm is bleeding, you didn't even know, somebody else's blood, put salt right on it. Takes it right out.
I think mom and dad, I think mom and dad said that before too.
I don't think they have.
No, vinegar. And made it as a joke, and we didn't understand what they were saying. At least I didn't.
You're good.
Yeah, you use it.
What'd you say with the salt?
I didn't take it
That's for blood. Anytime you get blood on your clothes, just put the salt on it. Gets it right out.
I think they're doing that right.
The vinegar, they definitely said that, and I'm like, yeah.
So, listen, you guys are missing out on life hacks. You're missing out on life hacks just because you don't want that structure and that responsibility. Alright? If Ray go away to school right now, everybody gonna be panicking, but at school, Ray gonna be alright. He's just gonna have to come to grips with the fact that he actually has to go to school. Like, that's cause it don't make sense, right? The college system doesn't necessarily make sense. Like, this might be a waste of time for me right here. That's a whole nother conversation in and of itself, right? But in terms of the survival tactics, he got it already. And that's what I'm telling you. My mom would tell me all the time, you don't wanna have to rely on a woman to get you through the day. Do this for yourself. So ironing clothes, I don't even know if you guys have irons right now. I don't know who's that. That probably just wash, dry, somebody hang it up for you. So you guys are ironing your own clothes?
Yep.
I know you West Indian, you got it. Yeah. Your pops ain't going for that, he West Indian.
Most of the time.
You ain't ironing no clothes, your mom's keep you straight.
Yes, I do. It don't.
I do my dress clothes. If we're going out for
At a
dates,
time,
yeah,
at a time, we just ship it to dry cleaner.
Alright, we're gonna wrap up with that, man. I love y'all. Y'all are heading out Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
early,
y'all won't
right,
be
yeah.
back until Sunday.
I'll see you tomorrow though. I'll see you tomorrow.